Hey everybody, this is Dana Shea Williams with KeepAllYourCash.com, and today I was on a really wonderful prayer call this morning, and the speaker was actually reading from, or actually he wasn't reading from, but he was speaking from Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Now if you haven't read that book, that is an excellent book for you to actually begin to really set yourself up to become successful in whatever industry or business or relationship or whatever it is you're trying to find success in. And after that call, I was inspired to actually write my own 7 principles of, or 7 habits, I should say, of highly unsuccessful people. So here we go. The first habit of highly unsuccessful people is that they lack faith. Faith is an essential ingredient if you're going to be successful. Now, you might be saying, well, Dana, I'm not a religious person. Well, the word faith isn't just a religious term. You see, we all have faith, and we all exercise faith every single day. Think about it. If you drove into work, did you look underneath the hood of your car to make sure that everything was okay? If you drove over a bridge, did you get out of your car and make sure that all the nuts and bolts were firmly in place before you drove over the bridge? Of course not. We exercise faith all the time without even thinking about it. If you're going to be successful, then you have to have faith. Unsuccessful people, they lack faith. They don't believe anything until they see it. And what I'm going to say is that if you are to be successful, you have to first believe it before you see it. So that's the first habit. The second habit is they're not focused. You know, if you think about a rider, as far as a horse, I should say, in a horse race, they put blinders, right, on the horse so that the horse can't look this way and that way and see what all the other horses are doing. He's focused on that finish line. And that is what we have to do as well if we are to be successful. So unsuccessful people are not focused. They're all over the place. You know, they look at this deal and that looks great. You know, they look at this person and that person's doing great. Let me try what they're doing. And they're all random, scattered about. Those are characteristics of unsuccessful people. Successful people are focused. The third habit is they lack drive. Now, drive is something that you can be born with, but it's also something that can be cultivated. You know, I happen to hear a lot. People say, Dana, you're so driven. That's the word. You know, as a matter of fact, you know how you're like in circles and you have to say your first name and, you know, say a word about yourself that starts with the first name, the first letter of your name. Well, I'm Dana, D, and I say I'm driven because I am. I'm driven to success. I'm driven to succeed. Whatever it is that I'm attempting to do in life, I am totally focused and driven. And that is a habit that successful people have. Don't look for other people to motivate you. You know, true motivation comes from within, not from without. So if you can't motivate yourself, you are going to have a hard time being successful. The fourth characteristic is they're not consistent. Now, I'm just going to be very transparent and say that consistency is something that I struggled with for quite a long time. As a matter of fact, every New Year's Eve, you know, it'd be on my New Year's resolution list. I got to be consistent. I got to be consistent because I started a lot of things well, but didn't necessarily finish them well. And so that's something that, you know, I've been working on and am still working on is being more consistent. I came up with this cute little quote here that says, consistency is the oil that lubricates your drive. Maybe that only makes sense to me. I thought it was pretty impressive myself. But anywho, consistency is something that you must have if you are to be successful. Some people start something on a Monday and then they go, I don't know if that really worked. Let me try something different on Tuesday. Not really sure if that worked. Let me try something different on Wednesday. And they're all, again, all over the place. So you have to make sure that if you want to be successful, that you are consistent. Keep continued focus today, and then tomorrow, do the same thing again. The next day, do the same thing again. Every day, make sure that you are being consistent if you are going to have success. The fifth principle or habit is they are not patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are success stories. You know, I don't really like the term overnight success because really what an overnight success story is that person most likely was working in the background. They were working on their craft, their skill, their business, their relationship, whatever it was, and then they got their breakthrough. And we only see the breakthrough, but they were actually diligently working prior to the breakthrough most often. And so if you are going to have success, you are going to have to be patient and understand that your breakthrough is coming, but you don't know when. You know, the timing is not up to us to decide. That's God, that's in God's hands. And so if you're going to be successful, you have to give yourself some space and some grace and be patient with yourself. The sixth habit is they don't invest. There are so many people who are so afraid to invest, especially when it comes to money. You know, we all want the benefits of whatever, but so many times we're afraid to invest. In order for a plant to grow, a seed must first be planted. A farmer does not expect to have a crop if he is not willing to invest the seed. And guess what? He plants thousands, maybe even millions, depending on how big the farm is, of seeds, but there's not thousands or millions of plants. All of those seeds don't necessarily take root. And so you have to be very diligent about investing. If you have a business, you must invest your money, you must invest your time, you must invest education. You have to invest in order for that thing to come to fruition. So don't be afraid to invest in whatever it is you're trying to have success in. The seventh and final habit of highly unsuccessful people is that they are not teachable. I did a blog post a couple days ago about the importance of having mentors and coaches in your life. And some of us, we have natural born abilities, so we feel like, I don't need to hire anybody, or I don't need to glean from anybody else. I'm just going to do my own thing, blaze my own trail. And while that seems, very, magnificent, that's not really what I'm looking for. While it seems like, really, I guess, good for you to do that, you can also stifle your own growth by doing that. So be teachable. Pride is an ugly, ugly thing, especially when it comes to you learning. I have the privilege of leading a large team of people, and as a leader, there's nothing worse than someone asking you for help and then you offering your help and then that person not taking your help. It's like, why did you ask if you didn't really want to follow? And this is what I see a lot, is that unsuccessful people who have had no success in their business or relationships or marriage or whatever, it's because they won't do the work to be teachable. They won't submit themselves to somebody. So be teachable. Make sure that you are not prideful. Pride can be a good thing when you're proud of yourself, but it can be a really bad thing when it's stifling your growth. If you would like to see more articles like this and get encouragement or inspiration for your business, be sure to head over to my website, which is blog.keepallyourcash.com, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.